Hey guys, we're back for third episode. I am sorry that this has taken so long for me to do. Being a little busy with a honeydew list, and that basically was comprised of just getting the pool in the backyard ready, from green swampy water with a few bass in it to now Bahama Blue crystal clear water that the kids can now swim in. My daughter has a hard time swimming in it because there are frogs, and for some reason she's scared to death of frogs. But I had to get that done. Been just busy with that stuff. You know how I'm talking to you guys. You know how it is with a honeydew list. You're married to a woman, and get to meet different personalities that you never got to meet before. When you first dated or first got married, but now they're showing their faces. My wife's her name is Christine, but it was a couple years I met Patricia. She's a little mean, and now Huffy. And if you guys can, you know what I'm talking about. Huffy is that other personality that when you don't do exactly what she wants you to do, that's all you hear. And there's a long pause. Yes, honey. You know. So I met Huffy the Vampire Slayer, or no, I've renamed her Huffy the Husband Slayer. So I had to get that stuff done. So pray for me as I now reading a manual book. I don't know who it's by, but it's how to exercise the personalities of your wife. And so far, she only has two. Well, three, her natural, the one she was born with, and then these other two like to show up more than the natural. Anyway, so pray for me. I'm gonna need help. Holy water, maybe. That's what the pool water's for. Anyway, welcome back to Beloved but Barely Behaved, guys. I think this is episode 3. Welcome back to this podcast. This podcast is for people who know God is always with them, but still panic when they can't find their phone while it is in their hand. Anyway, last episode we talked about what it means to be God's beloved. I want to start off with a question again for this episode, and the question is this: why are so many Christians exhausted? You can ask yourself that question. You can answer that question yourself as well. Why are so many Christians exhausted? We're reading our Bibles, we're praying, we're serving. That's a huge one, right? That'll exhaust you more than others, because today's religious churches in the American West, that you're either manipulated to or feel guilty or manipulated, like I said, to serve. It's like we must serve because God wills it. But we're reading the Bible, we're praying, we're serving, we're trying harder. Yet so many of us still feel like we're never enough. If that makes any sense. Maybe the problem isn't that we're not doing enough. Maybe we're living from the wrong starting point. For example, imagine you're on a treadmill. Don't imagine me on a treadmill. I don't imagine myself on a treadmill, because I'm not going to last that long. Maybe about half a mile. I give myself too much credit. More like 10, 20 yards. I'm done. But imagine being on a treadmill. You run, you sweat, you work. 20 minutes later, I don't know how you made it that long, you're exhausted. But you haven't gone anywhere. Performance-based Christianity feels exactly like that. You're always trying, but you're never arriving. You're always running in place. You're that hamster on a wheel. It's like, I'm going. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on this thing and it's going in circles. I've never arrived anywhere. But you're always trying, but you're never arriving. We've all felt this. I need things like, I need to pray more. I should read the Bible more. If I don't read my Bible or do my 20-minute devotion or 10-minute devotion in the morning before I go to work, is God going to be happy with me? God must be disappointed. I need to get serious. It becomes an endless cycle. It's all performance based. If you know, you know. Religion says do more. This is that religious mindset. It says do more. And this religion often sounds like this: try harder, be holier, pray longer. And we went last episode what praying basically, what the root word of pray means. And I think it's powerful. It's so simple that we missed what it really means to pray and be face to face with God, having a dialogue. But religion says pray longer, read more. You must read. Stop failing. The focus is always on you. The gospel, the real gospel, guys, not what we've always grown up to believe the gospel is. The real gospel shifts the focus back to Jesus, where it should have been the whole time. We think it has been, but it really hasn't been. It's been on us of what we can do and not the finished work of Christ. And the question changes from what must I do to what has Christ already done. So I want to read out of Luke 10, 38 to 42. That is the story of Mary and Martha. I'm going to just read really quick. I'm going to read verses, chapter 10, verses 38 to 42. I'm reading now the ESV. Now as they went on their way, Jesus entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to his teaching. But Martha was distracted with much serving, and she went up to him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? She probably did the listen, Lord. That's old. I'm sorry. I brought that back up. Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her then to help me. She went to Jesus like, you tell her. She ain't listening to me. You tell her. But the Lord answered back, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her. Now, I want to read the same thing in the from the Message. If I can find it again. Is it chapter 10. So, they continued their travel. Jesus entered a village. A woman by the name of Martha welcomed him and made him feel quiet at home. But she had a sister, Mary, who sat before the master, hanging on every word that he said. But Martha was pulled away by all she had to do in the kitchen. Later, she stepped in, interrupting them. Master, don't you care that my sister has abandoned the kitchen to me? Tell her to lend me a hand. The master said, Martha, oh dear Martha, you're fussing far too much and getting yourself worked up over nothing. One thing only is essential, and Mary has chosen it. It's the main course, and this won't be taken away from her. We can relate. I think we've all been Marthas. There's any of us that are Marys. But Martha wasn't doing any bad things. She was doing good things for Jesus. But she missed Jesus himself, if that makes any sense. That rings home to me. We can get so bogged down on what we're trying to do for Jesus that we miss him entirely. I'm guilty of that. There's a lot of us guilty of that. Not that we're really it's not that it has nothing to do with guilt. It's just we've all done it. Mary simply sat at his feet. Jesus didn't rebuke Martha for serving, not whatsoever. He invited her into rest. See, Mary hung on every word that he was saying. She just wanted to sit at his feet and receive from him, while Martha's in the kitchen making Red Lobster cheddar biscuits and I'm sure they were good, but she was angry that Mary left her alone to do that while she was trying to serve the Lord, which is, again, there's nothing wrong with that, but she missed the Son of God being in her house. Again, he invited Martha into rest because Mary had the good portion of the meal. So I'm going to ask you this. Are you serving Jesus or are you enjoying him? Think about that for a second. Are you serving Jesus? Yes, I'm serving him. But are you enjoying him? That must come first. That rest where you get to delight in him as he delights in you and you enjoy him. Serving is a byproduct of that rest. So, but the rest I'm speaking of, guys, it's not laziness, because you have to understand this is important. Rest isn't quitting. Rest isn't becoming passive. Rest means trusting Jesus instead of trusting yourself or the things that you can do. Again, remember, he invited everybody. He's like, listen, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, for I will give you rest, because my yoke is easy, my burden is light. Like, again, it's so light you don't even notice it's there. Come to, he said it everywhere. Just, I am this, I am this, I am truth, I am life, I am rest, I am all this, I am salvation. Just come to me and sit at the feet. Stop trying to do these things for me, because you're going to end up wearing yourself out. And we find ourselves easily in that position. Ministers and churches, a lot of preachers today are backing down from their position because they are exhausted. They're burnt out because everything's been in their power. All the people this, all the people that. Then you've made it about the wrong thing, because all that takes care of itself as long as you stay at the feet of Jesus and rest. There's nothing you can do. Enjoy him. Everything else is added and will be taken care of. Rest means trusting Jesus instead of trusting yourself. You still grow, you still love people, but now obedience flows from love, not fear. You don't obey for God to accept you. That's not why we obey. You obey because you've already been accepted. Everything that religion has told us we must do, guys, listen, I'm going to go on a little tangent. Everything that religion has told us that we must do is to serve God and obey. And what I want to do here is give you what religion says, what union in Christ and belovedness says. So, okay, I'm going to start over. Everything that religion has told us that we must do is to serve God and obey. Union says love naturally produces obedience. Religion says serve or love others. Union says when you know you're loved, love leaks out. And that is true, guys. This revelation of union and being one with him is opening grace-filled eyes for everybody, and love starting to leak out. People that you always look at it through a bad lens. That lens is now being wiped clean. It's amazing. It's different. It's finding the heart of the Father. So religion says behave, beloved, but barely behaved. Behave or be holy, because those are synonymous. I don't even know if I said that right. Those are the same. The religion sees that as the same. Behaving and holiness go together. But union says you are already holy in Christ. The church or the religion says give. We need more. Union says generosity is what loved children do. Pray more, do this. That's what religion says. Again, union, belovedness says prayer becomes conversation because you're already with him. I said that back in episode 2. That word pros or pro, and praying is the strengthened root form of that word pro. It is pros, which means a turning to. I'm looking you face to face in relation, and having a dialogue. And Jesus did that a lot. That was his secret place. His time with his Father was to get back that face to face and have that time with him. We all need that. That's our spiritual. That is our very private time with God. Just you and him, where you're having a dialogue. You're talking. That's all you're doing. Uh, Prayer becomes conversation because you're already with him. Freedom from sin. Religion says stop sinning, you'll become righteous if you stop sinning. That's how you get freedom from sin. If you stop sinning, you'll become righteous. Union says you are already righteous, so sin no longer fits who you are. And I think I'm gonna put a pin in that as far as what sin is and explain that in later, maybe in the next episode or a little bit down the road. I think we need to understand what sin really is, and that what we've always been told what sin was is not really sin, but it is symptoms of something more bigger than just sand, stuff like that. So, all of these that I mentioned to you, that union does, and being and living in belovedness and rest, all of these are byproducts that happen naturally because of our union and rest in him, our identity in him. So our religion says you have to do these things in order to measure up and be right with the Lord. Union and belovedness says these things automatically happen when you find your identity in him. It's a byproduct. It's going to happen on its own. It's nothing that you feel like I need to obey today. I need to pray today. It's things you're going to want to do anyway without the religious piety, being pious about it. That I have to do this to appease him or please him. No, it's nothing like that. It's out of, like giving. The Lord loves a cheerful giver. It's a heart issue. Once you know the heart of the Father, his heart becomes your heart. And that stuff, like it says, it leaks, it spills out. So, what changes with all this? Imagine waking up tomorrow, okay? Believing. I want you guys to imagine yourself waking up tomorrow believing this. God isn't grading me today. That's a huge one. Sometimes I still struggle with that. He's walking with me. God isn't grading me today. He's walking with me. He's not wanting, or he's not waiting for me to impress him. He's already delighted in me because I'm in Christ. I'm in his Son. How would that change your prayer life? How would it change your prayer life if knowing that he's not waiting for me to impress him? He's already delighted in me more than I can ever imagine, and because of our union together. How would that change your prayer life? How would it change your marriage, your parenting? I can attest to that. It's changing my parenting and my actually all of it. My prayer life, my marriage, my parenting, your work. When you go to work, how is that? How is that dynamic going to shift? Because don't think you don't have any kind of um, authority, or you don't carry the presence of God with you. What you do, don't leave it all on the guy behind the pulpit every Sunday, the guy you see once a week or maybe twice a week. If you're one of those Wednesday going people, like, yes, I'm a Wednesday goer and I'm very diligent. Because it doesn't matter if you're a minister or a plumber or this or that, that is your ministry. We are all preachers. We all proclaim. We are all the fivefold ministry. We all have that in us. We don't need a position of pastor. We don't need a position of assistant pastor, worship pastor, youth pastor. I'm a plumber. I'm not really a plumber, but I'm just saying I'm a plumber. So what can I add? You could add so much to just, again, when you get into this union and realize your identity in him, and this stuff starts leaking out, it's going to make others wonder. I'm not talking about going into a city, handing out click tracks, or a lot. What you see a lot on TikTok now these days is people on the corner of streets, whether it's a pride parade or abortion clinic, and they're like, it's all guilt and shame and hell and this and this and that stuff. And I don't, in my opinion, I've never seen Jesus do that one time. And we're going to get to that stuff later. But it's all in love now, because this thing that you thought was transactional is transformational. It's not transactional. It's not contractual. It is transformational. Everything is inside coming out, nothing outside in. Because our abode, he makes his abode where, guys? Here now. Here now. So how does it change your marriage, your parenting, your work, your failures? Everything changes. You start seeing everything in a different light. It's amazing, because again, don't wear yourself out with this or feel like you have to. You can get yourself to a point where you want to drop everything, or a lot of people right now are doing this thing called deconstruction. Deconstruction is fine if you're deconstructing religion, but if there's no reconstruction after the deconstruction, you just can't tear it down and leave it. There has to be a rebuilding of something more original, and what getting back to the basics of the gospel, which is everybody. The gospel is this: the good news that everyone is included now. That's what Jesus told his disciples: go tell the nations, everyone is included now. Go show them the love that I showed you, and tell them everybody is included now. Now that may seem or sound a little weird to you, or maybe heretical. That's fine. But this is the stuff that he's showing me as well. Like I said, I grew up in those circles where you draw lines in the sand, and you're like, well, you're part of the LGBTQ plus alphabet, whatever they add. I just can't keep up with it. I draw lines in the sand, and I'm a Christian, and you need Jesus. But we're not showing them anything different, or you know what I mean? It just, we're always wanting to be on the right side. We think we're right when we couldn't be more wrong, instead of just helping people realize their identity in Christ, whether they are pride goers, whether they are gay or lesbian, whether they are at an abortion clinic, whether, I mean, it doesn't matter their background. They still have an identity they haven't been aware to, or they need to be aware of. And everything changes from there. It's all about the love you share. If I'm not careful, I can almost go into another, just talk about love and the agape love and what that means. So this week, when you catch yourself striving, guys, stop, take a deep breath, ask yourself, am I trying to earn something Jesus already gave me? Most of the time, the answer is yes. Remember, the Christian life isn't about climbing towards God. It's about learning to live from the place where Christ has already seated you. You're not running to become beloved. You're living because you are. And the scriptures say that a lot. Matthew 11:28-30 says, come to me and I will give you rest. Ephesians chapter 2, 8-10, saved by grace, created for good works. That word works there, it gets confused with more things I have to do. All it means is fruits. That's why there's a lot of clash between with the book of James now. Faith without works is dead. What do you mean? I need to work to be saved? No, it means fruits. Faith without fruits is dead. I'm created for good fruit. Remember, we're a vine, we're a branch in the vine, and we are to produce things that are of love's kind. So Hebrews 4:9-11, entering God's rest, where I just read in Luke 10:38-42, Mary and Martha. Galatians 2:20, It is no longer I who live. John 4:15, verses 4 through 5. Abide in me, Jesus is telling you. Live inside me. Performance asks, what do I have to do so God will love me? Grace answers this question because God already loves you in Christ. Now you're free to live. What do I have to do so God will love me? God already loves you in Christ. So now you're free to live. You are free. Okay? All right? All right. All right. Okay. I'm going to end it so you just don't have to listen to me any longer. But I'm going to leave you with this. I think I'm going to leave every episode, open it up with something funny, at least, and then close it with things I like to call things Jesus never said. So, things Jesus never said. Boom, boom, boom. Blessed are the exhausted, for they obviously volunteer too much at church. All right. Love you guys. I see you next time. Remember, he's done it for you. Rest at his feet. Just take everything he has in. And as always, you're beloved, even though you've barely behaved. Love you guys. See ya.